everyone, I hope you are all well. Today I'm doing a Q&A video. I asked on here on YouTube and on Instagram for all of your questions, and there were so many. Thank you so much. If you have any other questions after this video, there are quite a lot, please leave them as a comment down below and I will try to get back to you. But I think we cover quite a lot of things. I've printed out the questions. It took me so long to go through all of them, but there are some really good ones, so thank you. Okay, let's get going because this is going to be a long video. Is there anything you would change or that you wish you'd done differently with your home renovation now that you have grey? I was trying to think about this. I'm sure there are things that will come up over time, but off the top of my head, we specifically chose our bath knowing we would have kids in this house, so we didn't get a freestanding bath that's like really deep because we thought it would hurt our backs. So great decision. We didn't get taps that come out so the kids knock their head on it. Great decision. But we did get the plug for the bath. It's like one of those press plugs and it's right in the middle of the bath. And at the moment it's quite annoying because her bath seat has to go over it and it can't go like either side because there's not enough room. And then when she's older, I think it's gonna be annoying because she'll kind of sit on it. And I find that when I'm in the bath, I sit on it as well. So I wish that we'd put the plug somehow like one end of the bath. Such a weird little detail that I wouldn't have thought about before. For some reason, the whole house, we put so many plug sockets in the whole house, but in her bedroom, one entire wall hasn't got any plug sockets. And I remember trying to plan out the bedroom and think, oh, we won't need any there. But we really need it for the monitor. So we have to like stretch the monitor to go around her cot and it's so annoying. I wish we'd put a plug socket in. And air conditioning downstairs here in the kitchen. I think we could have put a little air conditioning unit like above the dining table. Because of all the glass doors, it gets so hot, and it's only hot in the UK for like 2 weeks of the year, but it's kind of unbearable when it is. When you've got so much light coming in from the back doors and the skylight, it just gets so hot. So I wish that we'd put aircon in. It's something we can still do, and it's on my list of things that I want to spend money on. Side note, I genuinely have a list on my notes, things I want to spend money on, so I can like budget and plan what I need to save for, and aircon is one of those things. And then the only other thing I could think of are new sash windows, which we knew we needed, but we kind of just delayed because they're so expensive. But they are really thin, our windows, and a little bit rattly, so in the winter I think that's going to be really annoying. And her room specifically gets so cold, even though there's just one window, but it's just such a big job and it's so expensive. So that's all I can think of off the top of my head. But also on the kind of renovation topic, there were a couple other questions. Would you ever take on another renovation project? I'm not sure if our next home we'd ever be able to do this again, where we did it from scratch and made it exactly how we wanted. We just won't ever have the money again, and I think when you've got kids it's a lot harder. I imagine the next place we move to maybe in 10 years time would be like already done up how we like it, and we just make a few changes. But I would love to work on a renovation project. Like, I wish I could be like a property developer because I really enjoy doing it, and yeah, I think I would love doing that, but it's just financially not really a good decision. Like 10 years ago, buying flats, doing them up and selling them or renting them was a really great thing to do, but now it's not really like cost effective, and it's kind of really messy anyway. Have you changed anything since the main renovation? If you guys would like, I could do a little kind of house update video. Let me know if you want that. It's nothing big, but it's more like decor. Like we've got like a new neon light. There's maybe a few bits I've added in, but let me know if you'd like a kind of video on that. I could try to do that for you. The next question is, what's the one part of your beauty regime, skincare or makeup, that is a non-negotiable even when you don't have time? So I'm very proud to say that throughout the entire time of having a baby, apart from the time I was in the hospital, because I just took face wipes to hospital, the entire time whilst being at home with a new baby, I washed my face every night. Cleansing my skin, just putting on a little bit of moisturizer at least, is like the one thing that I will always do. It just feels wrong to me not to do it these days, and it can be so quick. All you have to do is quickly cleanse your face, put on a bit of moisturizer, and it's done. So that's the one thing that I will always do. I'm in my 30s. I don't really have a skincare regime. Where should I start, and what are the essentials? Do you have any recommendations that aren't too pricey? So I always say, if you want to get started with skincare, the 3 essentials are cleanser, serum, moisturizer. There are so many products, and there you can have a really like big, 5-6 step routine, but I think if you just want to get started, start with those 3 basics and then slowly add in like other treatments here and there depending on what your skin type is. Just go for basic basic products. Pixi have really good affordable skincare. You can get cleanser, serum, moisturizer from them, and they are great. If you want something that's a bit easier to get hold of, although I think you can get Pixi in Boots now, but La Roche-Posay is also a really nice, simple brand. Do you like the new Fenty foundation? I saw on Instagram that you've tried it. So I'm wearing it today. It's the new Fenty like hydrating foundation. I don't know what it's called. And I do really like it. I really like the primer that comes with it as well. I think I'll talk about them maybe in another video soon. It is very hydrating. I love the finish it gives on the skin. It is quite full coverage though, like compared to the IT Cosmetics CC cream, which I feel like I could kind of go crazy with and it won't ever look too much. Whereas I feel like with the Fenty one, if I put a little bit too much, I start looking a bit cakey. So I really use a tiny amount and kind of just build it up like around here where I need it. But I really like the finish and it's nice. I feel like Fenty as a brand, they didn't always have products that worked for me. Everything was quite like Instagram makeup and heavy, and I think this is a foundation that I would definitely keep in my collection and keep using. What was the other name you had in mind for grey? I wasn't sure if I was ever going to share this, but we can't use it now because it doesn't go with grey, so we can't use it for like our future children. I'm not going to share the middle name, the other middle name, because I think we would use that if we had another girl. But the other name we had for grey, we were deciding between the two, was Teddy. And I think Teddy for a girl is so, so nice. I still love the name. Please don't tell me if you prefer it to grey, because that's just mean. But now I like know her. I don't think it suits her. I think grey suits her a lot more. I don't know, there's just something, I think when she was born, we were so used to grey. We were using it, we were practicing it, and when she was born, I just thought she's a grey. And I know Grey is not like the most kind of cutesy baby name. Like everyone in my family calls her Baby Grey because they can't just call her Grey because it's not really like a baby name. But she's not going to be a baby for long, and I think when she's older it will be such a cool name. I really love it, and I think it suits her. What have your 3 most worn favourite pieces of clothing been lately? I actually don't know how to pronounce them. They're the trainers. The brand is V-E-J-A. Is it like Veja or Veja? I really should have looked this up beforehand, but their trainers I love them so much, and I get a lot of questions about them actually. The first time you wear them, they do hurt. I find that the leather of the tongue is like quite hard and it digs in, but by the second time they've totally softened up. I love them. I just think they look so cool. I've got some Velcro ones, which I'm obsessed with at the moment. So those trainers I've been wearing with like every outfit. Interesting fact, my feet definitely grew when I was pregnant. I was always a 6.5 and I squeezed into a 6, and now I'm fully a 7. So loads of my shoes don't fit, which is really frustrating. So I'm slowly like building back up my collection of shoes and squeezing my feet into shoes that don't fit. So those trainers I've been loving. There's a jumpsuit from Scamp & Dude that I really like because it's comfortable and it's loose and it's great to wear in the summer, and I just love the print. Grey loves the print. She literally looks at it and it's like baby sensory for her. ASOS maternity jeans, which I am not pleased to say that I've been wearing them all the time. They're the only jeans that fit me. The jeans that I wore at the beginning of my pregnancy, so they're not the over the bump ones, they're the ones that just have the stretch on the front and they go under the bump. And I can't really figure out what to do actually, because I'm not even going to attempt to fit into my old size 28 jeans because they won't fit. And I feel a bit strange like investing in new jeans now when I feel like I'm just like not my true size, which there is another question on that in a minute, so I'll come on to it. So I'm in this funny limbo period where I'm wearing these maternity jeans and I cannot wait to rip them up and throw them away because I hate them and I'm so bored of wearing them. Have you noticed any difference in your friendships since having Grey? Are your not yet or not parent friends still as close to you as they have been before, and do they understand the challenges you are faced with? I got a lot of questions about this. I think people have a lot of anxiety about like how having a baby can change their relationships with other people. I think I'm lucky that I've got really, really good friends. So even the ones that don't have babies, there's no doubt I would kind of stop being friends with them or we would like lose our friendship. But I have to say, it definitely has changed. And I don't know if about from their side of things, I don't know if they feel the same or if it's just me because I'm now a mum. But there is a big difference between hanging out with someone that has kids and hanging out with someone that hasn't. And it's just subtle little things. And to be honest, I thought I understood what it was like to have a baby before I had one. But now I know you really, really, really don't know until you have one. And it's so hard to explain. there are just challenges and all different things that you wouldn't understand until you have a baby. And I also find it quite difficult to kind of sit and have like a normal conversation about something if I'm in like mum mode and I'm thinking about her, and that's quite hard, I think, with friends that don't have babies, to kind of sit there and be present and ask them about their life when you're so distracted. I just want all my friends who don't have babies to have babies now. Do you have any help? As in cleaners, nanny, gardener, etc. So work life, I have no help apart from my friend Jay in Germany, who helps me with like web design when I need it. I really should. I feel like I'm the only person left on YouTube that doesn't have someone editing their videos for them. And now I have even less time to do work. It's like completely overwhelming. So I have no one helping me with work, and I probably should, but I'm terrible at delegating, and I've tried before and it hasn't worked, and I don't know how to get help. Personal life, we don't have a nanny or a gardener. Our garden's pretty small. I would have a gardener. I think if we had a garden to garden. At the moment, we don't need one. Rich just mows the lawn. So the only help we have in my personal life is a cleaner who comes for 2 hours once a week, and we've had her for years. She's a lovely lady. It's just one of those things that I'm like more than happy to pay for someone to help me clean my house. I mean, it lasts like a day, so the rest of the week we're still cleaning anyway, but it's just so nice to have like someone help with that and like do the cleaning bits that you really don't want to do. What kind of content are you going to be doing now that you've had a child, and will it change much? So this was such a common question. I think up until now, there's been a lot of baby content on Instagram and YouTube for me, because I've just been in such a baby bubble, and it's really hard. Like, I haven't been able to talk about fashion because I've been wearing the same maternity clothes. I don't fit into anything. I wasn't talking about beauty at the beginning because I wasn't putting makeup on every day, and I found it really hard to like find other things to talk about. I do feel like I'm very like in a baby bubble still. I don't imagine my content will change drastically. I'm not going to become like only a mummy blogger or YouTuber or whatever. I just imagine it's another arm on what I was doing before. My content was always lifestyle. It was very home interior heavy when I was doing up my house. It was very pregnancy heavy when I was pregnant. It changes as I go through different life stages. So I imagine now, as well as home interior, style, beauty, food, baby stuff, mummy stuff is just going to be another part of that. And I actually am enjoying talking about it more than I thought I would. I feel really passionate about it when I find products that work for us and things that make being a mum a little bit easier. I really enjoy sharing it, and the community online with like mummy and baby stuff is really great as well. So let me know if you guys enjoy it. I'll try add in like, I'll try and keep it balanced. I'll do like a mummy baby video every now and again. I just don't like to force stuff. I don't want to force myself to do like a makeup tutorial when I'm not really feeling in that mood at the time. That's how I imagine things will change. The only thing that I'm not really sure about is that I used to do a lot of vlogs. Like when I was pregnant especially, and I was feeling quite uninspired to do other types of content, I was just doing vlogs, and you guys love them because they've got so much like different varied stuff in it. But it is quite tricky, I think, to vlog now, especially if I'm having like a mummy day with Gray, because I don't want her to be too heavily in videos. I spend a lot of my time just in my local area walking to coffee shops, and I don't want to film that. So it's kind of hard to figure out how I will do vlogs, but I will find a way and I will figure it out. How do you feel about your body after giving birth to your lovely daughter, and how has your style changed since having her? So for the first like month or so, I was just so empowered. I was so proud of my body. I didn't care what I looked like. I just thought, wow, I've given birth to a human and it's amazing what the female body can do. But I'm not gonna lie, now I just feel like I am living in someone else's body, and it's especially hard coming back to work and being so like online and having to share photos of myself. I just don't feel like me. If I'm totally honest, this is very honest, but I feel like most women follow me anyway. I haven't yet had my like first period. You guys know I've stopped breastfeeding at 5 weeks, and she's now 3 months, and I haven't yet had my first period. And I think from speaking to other people that I might feel a lot better after that, and it's like quite important to just kind of get that out of the way. I just feel not like me, and it's not necessarily just my stomach. Like my stomach is definitely still there. It's soft and it's squidgy. I've never really had that before, but I've never like been super confident with my body. I always had a bit of a tummy, but it was kind of a little bit more firm. I've still got the line that goes down my stomach, which I really don't like. And I've just got this kind of like lip under my stomach. I also am still completely numb above my C-section scar, which I just hate the feeling of that. No one warns you of how weird it is to not be able to feel that part of your stomach. It's really, really unpleasant, if I'm honest. But it's not just that area. It's It's my hips and just being generally like broader. I took a pajama top away with me on holiday, just thinking like it's a pajama top, it's not jeans or anything, and I couldn't fit it over me, and I can't figure out what's bigger about me. My boobs aren't that much bigger. I think I'm just like broader. It's so hard to explain. Every now and again I feel like, oh yeah, I like what I look like today. I feel like me, this is great. And then I'll like see myself in a photo or see myself in the mirror at a different angle, and I'm just like, I just don't feel like I look like me. And it's a really horrible feeling actually. I feel a lot more insecure about my body than I thought I would at this point. And I'm just looking forward to feeling like me again, and everyone tells me that I won't for at least a year, which is terrifying. So in terms of how has my style changed, I feel like I don't have a style at the moment. I'm wearing these maternity jeans every day, and because they're quite low, that dictates what top I wear. I've been wearing a lot of dresses because they make me feel better. So I used to wear high-waisted jeans, tucked in t-shirts, and now I basically wear a lot of dresses. So we will see. I feel like I need to completely reinvent my style and find new shapes that work for my new body shape, and it's gonna be a journey. What do you think about having a dog or a cat at home? So I always grew up with a dog, and I think it's really important for kids to be surrounded by a dog. I'm very thankful that my parents have one, so that Gray will always be around a dog. And I think if they didn't, I'd feel more pressured to get one myself, because I just would hate for her to be like scared of dogs. I think that's really important. But I don't know if I massively feel like I want one myself, just because I feel like growing up with a dog, I know the responsibility that comes with it, and they take up a lot of time. It's like having another kid, a lot of walks, pet insurance, feeding them, vet bills, and I feel like I don't need that whilst I'm at the time of my life where I'm gonna have young kids. I've seen other friends who have dogs and babies, and it is stressful. I think when my kids are older, like 7-ish, it'll be quite good to get a dog then. I do like cats as well, and I think it's nice to just have something like living that goes around the house. My sister has a really, really nice cat, but I actually don't think we could have a cat flap in our house, so I don't know how that would work. I don't really believe in indoor cats. I think it's a bit mean. So for now, we are pet free, but maybe when our future kids are older, then maybe we'll think about it. How did you used to fit blogging in around your 9-to-5 job before you became full-time? Is consistency key to building a blog from scratch? I'm excited for what's to come. I love your content, thank you. So yeah, I mean, my job wasn't even 9 to 5. I think I used to work 8 till 6:30. And yeah, I used to just come home in the evenings. This is when I lived at home, so luckily I had a mum that was like making me dinner and stuff. But I used to come home and I'd write blog posts in the evenings, and I'd take blog photos on the weekend. So I'd take all the photos of the weekend, edit them, schedule them in different posts, and then I'd write the posts on the evenings and schedule them for the daytime, so they went up automatically whilst I was at work. And if you are starting out in blogging, Instagram, YouTube, I would say that consistency is key. So just being regular. If you are not posting for 3 months, then there's nothing for your followers to check, and they will just forget about you. So consistency, engagement, like engage in other content creators that are making similar content to you, like authentic engagement. Don't just be like, go check out my blog. Like, engage with them, comment on their photos, like their photos, meet up with people, share audiences. That is a great way to like get a new following, and promote your blog and your YouTube. Like, no one else is going to do it for you. I always say this, but I used to go into the Apple store and put my blog up on all the computers and iPads. Like, I wouldn't recommend doing that now, but like back in the day when no one was blogging, that was quite like a whoa thing to do. And I just thought that would be a really cool way. If someone walked up to a computer in the Apple store, they'd be like, oh, what's lilypebbles.co.uk? Actually, it was called whatihearttoday.com. Also, just quality and passion. So keep the quality high of the content. That doesn't mean using a fancy camera. That just means, you know, decent quality. And be passionate about whatever you're filming or writing about, because it will show. If you're just forcing something, you're trying to copy people, just be your true self and talk about things that you find interesting. Those are my tips if you're getting into blogging or YouTube. Okay, has your relationship changed with your sisters in any way since having Gray? Yeah, I'd say that we are closer. They really saw me at my lowest of lows. Throughout my like breastfeeding journey at the beginning, there were some dark times where my sisters had to come over late at night, and I would just be sobbing my eyes out. And they were really, really good. Like, my sisters clash with each other a lot at times, but they properly like came together and like supported me and gave me some really great advice, and they were like on the team together, and I'm very thankful to them for that. So I think we have got closer. I think I definitely have a much better understanding of what they have been through. I think one of the first things I said after I gave birth is I just said to my sister, or both of them really, like, I'm so sorry that I wasn't there more. I was young, I was at uni when they had kids. Like, I'm sorry I didn't make you food, and I feel like I didn't really understand. I was just excited that there was a new baby. I wasn't really thinking about them. So that definitely has changed. But also, I'm the youngest in the family, so my role has always been to just fit in and go along with whatever they're doing and their kids, and me and Rich are always just like the tag along, and we were pretty easygoing. So I feel like now we have our own baby, we have to prioritize her. So that's definitely shifted a little bit, and sometimes I have to say like, nope, this is what's best for us, so we're gonna do this now. And I think I've had to like stand my ground a little bit more and be less of the younger sister, and realize like I am a mum now, and I have to look out for her first. Where do you think the future of bloggers, YouTubers and influencers lay? Do you think they will continue to adapt and develop, and where do you think the industry will be in 5 years? Someone also said, can you see yourself being an influencer, content creator forever, and what other career path would you move into if not? So the first question, I don't know, like whenever people ask this, I just don't know like where this industry is going. If I'm honest, I don't love like what it's become, but because I was so early on in this, and I started, you know, in 2010, and there was such a small group of us, especially in the UK, a small group of women who kind of came together. We'd all started our blogs at the same time, and we really like built this industry together, that I feel like I don't want to like just leave it to become this like monster. Like, I'm really passionate about keeping it what it was, which is why I try and keep things really real online, because there's so much of this like fake stuff going on, and people being like untrustworthy and inauthentic, you know, people not disclaiming when things are paid for or not disclaiming gifts. There's so much of that going on, and I do find it really frustrating, but I try to just focus on what I'm doing and keeping the industry nice, like as much as I can. I do find it frustrating that anyone who's on Instagram is called an influencer. Like, we're not all the same. You know, you have reality TV stars, you have actors and models who are on Instagram, you have people who are kind of more bloggers, YouTubers. There's so many different people using social media, and everyone gets classed as an influencer, and I find that quite frustrating because we are all very different. We all come from very different backgrounds, got here in a different way. So I find that a little bit frustrating. I don't know where it is going. I really don't. There's no point me guessing. I have no idea. Sorry. That is a really annoying answer, but no one knows really. Can I see myself doing this forever? There's definitely no plans for me to like stop doing it anytime soon. I think in some way I will always be creating content because it's something I really love doing, and I love social media and Instagram, and I love making videos. So at the moment I can see myself continuing doing this for a long time. I would love to do something else. Like, guys, I have been trying to think of like what brand or company I can set up for like the last 5-6 years, but there's no point forcing something, and I hate the idea of doing something that's already been done and just doing it badly. Like, if I'm gonna invest my money and time into something, it has to be something really original, something that's gonna work. Especially if I'm gonna start asking people to like spend their money and buy things, because up until now, everything I do, you guys haven't had to spend money on. My content is free for you to consume. So if I were to create a brand and sell things, that is a whole nother level, and it's very different. And it makes me nervous as well. Like, when you are selling something, you can fail, whereas with mine, it's not, with what I do now, it's not really based on like sales or anything. So I would love to have a brand and work with a team of people. Like, me and Anna have said for years we'd love to set something up together, but you can't force an idea, and there isn't really anything that I feel like I should do. I don't know, let me know if you have ever thought of like me setting up a brand and what it would be. When I see other people do it, I'm like, yes, that is perfect for them. And I just don't know what my perfect thing is. Hey Lily, can you compare your day from this date last year to the same date this year? I find it interesting when you share memories on your stories. I love the memories function on stories. I just love seeing what I was doing like last year or the year before. Sometimes it's like 5 years ago. I put this question in because when I checked, I knew I was gonna be filming today. It's the 22nd of August. And when I checked back of what I was doing last year, you will not believe, the 22nd of August, definitely, I mean, is this kind of TMI? Maybe. The day that Gray was conceived. That is so mental. And the reason I know, like, to the day is because I was tracking my ovulation. My friend Keisha got married on the 14th of August, and I remember when I announced my pregnancy, she was like, oh my God, were you pregnant at my wedding? Because if you work it out kind of 3 months when I announced it, it seems like I was, but it's really weird. With pregnancy, you get like 2 extra free weeks because they take it from your last period. So I definitely wasn't pregnant at her wedding. I think I ovulated on the 22nd of August, because I remember I was tracking it, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing this day last year. Wow, a lot has changed since then. Are you guys thinking about baby number 2? I can't believe I'm already getting these questions. She is 3 months old. I don't think we will have baby number 2 for a little while. I don't know, I've always wanted 3 kids. And if I want 3 kids, I've really got to get going, because I'm like 32 this year, you know, the clock is ticking. But I don't think I could handle having 2 kids in nappies at the same time. 2 nappies, 2 buggy, like double buggy, that looks stressful to me. So I feel like until Gray's like 3, like 2.5, 3, I don't think I'll have another one. I don't think I'm one of those people that's gonna have kids like really close in age. It's just too stressful for me. When you mention playtime in your stories, what does this entail when Gray is so little? Asking as a very curious non-parent. So when I say playtime, because I talk about like milk, like feeding time, nappy change, sleep time, and then playtime. And I guess it's just stimulation. Like even at her age, she loves like sensory stuff. So I'll put her in her bouncer, she plays with the little toy arch that goes across it, or we like jingle like toys in her face and like rainbow ribbons that I've got that I dangle over her. Just stimulating her and getting her to like touch things and feel things and hear things. You can't really just like leave a baby in a chair and get on with your day. I think that's what I always thought beforehand. But one, you get massive mum guilt if you're just ignoring them and you feel like you haven't spoken to them for hours. But 2, she's now definitely getting to the age where she gets bored if you just leave her in a chair. So you have to talk to her, and when I talk to her, she kind of goes, arr, makes noises back. So I know that it's like really nice for her, and we play with toys, and I do like time on her tummy. It can be very boring at times, but also really cute and rewarding. But yeah, there's a lot of playtime going on. Seeing as women with normal jobs often take more than 1 year of maternity leave, how much pressure is there for women who earn their main income as a content creator influencer to start work a lot sooner? I think there is pressure, mainly from ourselves, but also from other people. I think for anyone, it's not just content creators, anyone who's self-employed, when you don't get maternity leave, you feel like you need to go back sooner. I think if I took a year off, then when I came back, no brands would work with me. I would have massively lost my following. I think I would feel totally out of the game, and I wouldn't want to not work for a year. Like, I enjoy working, but it is really tricky trying to work out like the balance. And I don't know, like, I think there's pros and cons. Sometimes I'm really jealous of people that could just have a year off work and they know they can go back to their job afterwards and it'll pretty much be the same, and they're guaranteed to earn the same amount of money and everything's kind of set. I do get jealous, but then I also have spoken to people who are in that situation, and they're jealous that I can earn money and go back to work sooner if I want to. Like, it's also really hard for people to take a year off. They don't get paid their full salary, and if they want to earn money, they can't. So there really is pros to cons to both situations. I don't think one is better than the other. Did you have a hard time seeing other creators get jobs or go on press trips that you'd want to whilst on mat leave? If I'm totally honest, occasionally I think I did get a little bit like, I think jealous is the wrong word, because jealous implies that I don't want them to have it, I want me to have it, and that's never the case ever for me. It's more just like FOMO and like, oh, I wonder if I would have been invited on that if I wasn't pregnant or didn't have a baby, or like a little bit jealous of, I don't think I'll ever get that feeling again. Sure, I may be invited on press trips again, but would I be able to go on them? I'm not sure if I'd, one, like want to leave Gray for that long, or 2, if I even could leave her, like who could I leave her with? So it is a bit weird to feel like, will I ever, I probably won't ever feel like that again, just like carefree. Like me and Rich went on a trip together with Nars last year. I don't think that will ever happen again, like both of us being able to go together. So I do find it a bit weird to be like, I've left that old version of me behind and this is a new version. And sure, yeah, sometimes I see people work with brands and I'm like, oh, I would have loved to work with that brand. But it's all totally worth it because she is amazing and I love having a little baby. So then the final question, which so many people wanted to know about, how are you and Rich balancing work and childcare? And then all of these other questions like, who will take care of baby Gray once you're no longer on maternity leave? Who will be looking after her while you're working? Do you have anxiety about leaving her? Someone was like, do you work while she's napping or do you have a nanny? So here's the situation. Me and Rich spoke about this throughout my entire pregnancy. And we talked about next year, Rich possibly cutting down his days at work. For many reasons, I don't want to like go too into it because it's pretty personal, but we both love our work. We both have to earn money, but we both also want to spend time with Gray. And a lot of people, quite a few people we know now, like it's 2019, you know, very modern of us, but quite a lot of people now like split both. It's not so much like the man goes to work and the woman stays at home. And we always talked about doing it next year, but then I don't know what I thought was going to happen in September. I said like, I'm going to go back to work in September. Who's looking after Gray while I work? Like I think, like I said, I thought babies could just sit in a chair whilst you do stuff. That is not the case. I had one work day where Anna and Mark came down to London and we had content to shoot and stuff, and I tried to do it with Gray and it was a disaster. They would have said that it looked fine, like everything went smoothly, but when they left, I cried my eyes out. I just found it so hard to be in work mode and mum mode at the same time. They cannot be done at the same time. I'm sorry, any of you else who have tried, like it is impossible. And I found it totally overwhelming. I had such mum guilt. I felt like I missed my old life, which I'd never really felt before. And it was a disaster. So I realized after that, like I can't do both at the same time. I need help. And she's only 3 months. I'm not gonna send her to nursery at 3 months. And to be honest, I don't even feel comfortable yet, like my mum or anyone else looking after her. She's so little. The ideal situation would be for her to be with her dad. So Rich is working 3 days a week and he's having Gray 2 days a week, and I'm working 2 days a week and having Gray 3 days a week, and we're sharing it, and it's amazing. And I'm so lucky that Rich's company are so flexible and will allow him to do that. Obviously we've made some massive sacrifices by doing it, and yes, it has added quite a lot of pressure on me, I feel like, in terms of earnings, and also I'm now trying to do the same job I was doing before in 2 days a week, whilst also trying to constantly grow and do better. You know, everyone else out there is doing more. They're doing Instagram TV, they're doing Instagram Live, they're doing YouTube, they're doing blogs, they're doing Twitter, and they're doing so much. And I'm just trying to get back to doing at least what I could do while I was like pregnant or before then. It's tricky, but it's also amazing. I love my job and I love what I do, and I'm so grateful that I can go back to work. And Rich is so happy with the situation as well. When he was at work, he was getting back after bath time and he basically would only see her on weekends, which is so unfair on dads. I think there needs to be a massive shift in terms of like paternity leave for dads and being more flexible with work. I'm definitely seeing a shift, but I think more can be done. So now we both get the best of both worlds. And like I said, there are some sacrifices and it's not all perfect, but it's the perfect situation for us right now. That is the plan. So that's it. Those are all your questions. This was a very long video, but I thought we would have a big old catch up, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram stories specifically. And if you ever see something that you think like, oh, that was a really good thing, I want to check that again, it's most likely that I've saved it to my highlights. So go and check out those as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go upstairs and quickly edit this video now. I will see you in the next one. Bye.